Fatuma, good afternoon. Yes, I want to take this opportunity to welcome each one of you to this engagement. I would request everyone, if you need to speak, please you raise up your hand and then you speak so that we can be in order. So that's it. I don't want to see anybody who is speaking without instruction. So I see Asante's hand up. Yes, Asante.
Will we have an assignment which we have to send today?
Asante. Come again.
Will we have an assignment today which we'll have to send?
I can't hear you very well.
Topic.
I can't hear you. We have just started the lesson. We have not even moved anywhere. So wait and see what happens. I sent the link and I expected you to have looked at plans. That's the link that I sent. And this is the same unit that we started last time. We looked at plans and we stopped somewhere. So I expected you to have gone through that. Yes, I would love to hear from you if you did prepare yourself for this engagement, since I sent out the link last time asking you to prepare for plans. I don't know. Let me start with Shadrach. Did you visit the site and did you prepare for the presentation for plans?
No.
Sante, did you see the link?
Which link are you talking about? The link which we just joined using the Zoom, which link?
No, there is a link I sent via WhatsApp containing the link for access to the site, to the work in the site.
Yeah, well, I did not see that link. I think should send again.
It is already late. It's time for the lesson. You're meant to prepare earlier before you come here, because the next engagements that we are going to have, we are going to be having you to present. You'll be the one to present and then share with us the challenges. Please, Shadrach, can you mute your microphone and wait? If you want to speak, raise up your hand.
Okay.
So that's it. So in the coming lessons, we shall be having you guys doing the presentation on what you learned and also ask you questions where you want to know something, where you find challenges. As simple as that. Yes, Fatuma, I'm taking only that last hand and then we shall move on to look at something. Yes, Fatuma. You unmute, then speak. Fatuma, I see your hand up. Okay, I think She has nothing to say. Maybe the hand is up by accident. Okay, let's move on. So I sent a link last time, and I wanted you to continue from where we stopped last time. We introduced a new topic, and that is plants. Last time we were able to define what plants are. Plants are living things that grow on the earth's surface. Those are the living things. Plants are living things that grow on the earth's surface. And we also went ahead and talked about different things, the groups of plants, and so many other things. Maybe briefly, can we try to identify some of the groups of plants? By show of hands, you raise up your hand and be able to identify the groups of plants. Groups of plants. We have two groups of plants. If you know the answer, you can raise up your hand and then share with us the groups of plants that we have. Fatoma, I still see your hand up. Yes, Stefan, can you share with us these groups of plants? We have two, but you can tell us one. Yes, Stefan.
Plants.
Good.
Flowering plants.
Good. We have flowering plants. Another person. Another person. If you have the answer, you can raise up your hand. Yes, Asante.
Non-flowering plants.
Good. Non-flowering plants. Let's talk about the flowering plants. What are flowering plants? If you know the answer, you just raise up your hand. What are flowering plants? What are flowering plants? What are flowering plants? Can I give it to Asante? Asante, what are flowering plants?
Flowering plants are plants which bear flowers.
Very good. Flowering plants are plants which bear flowers. Can we try to identify examples of flowering plants? Nantongo, give any two examples of flowering plants. Your internet is, your network is looking poor. Hearing that kind of sound. Come again. I think she's in quite a noisy place. I don't know. Okay, let's continue. So this are the, I hope everyone is able to see my screen. This is what we talked about last time when we met. This is what we talked about. We talked about the groups of flowering plants. We talked about the flowering plants, the examples. If you have your microphone, Nantongo, can you mute your microphone? Mute your microphone. That's good. So let's continue. So I was telling you that this is what we talked about last time. We ended somewhere here. We finished, we looked at the characteristics of plants, and then we called it a day. So today, we are going to look at something different, but still in line with the plants. So we are going to start with plant habitats. Plant habitats. What is a plant habitat? What is a plant habitat? In P1, we teach about habitats. So I know you guys know what a habitat is. So what is a habitat? What is a plant habitat? What is a plant habitat? Maybe we can start with the word habitat. What is a habitat?
Teacher, may I help?
Please raise up your hand before you speak. There are people already whose hands are up. Let me start with the Shadrach. What is a habitat? That one is not speaking. Let me give Asante. What is a habitat?
A place where animal rests.
A place where animal rests. Another person?
Eats and exerts.
Okay, feeds and exhale, does everything. Shadrach, do you have any different answer? What is a habitat?
Is a family of plants.
Family of plants. If it is a family of plants, so a home of plants. If it is a plant habitat, then you can talk about a home. If it is just the word habitat, you can simply talk about a home of an animal or an organism. A home of an organism, as simple as that. So let's move on to looking at other things under that. So as you're doing the work in the site, you will be meeting activities like this one. Like you can see, this is an activity. It says what are flowering plants. So you write the answer here. After writing the answer here, then you continue. You continue. There is a button that you can just click, continue. It will bring the next question. You answer also that one, like that. Until you finish all the questions, then you go to the next part. So I expect everyone to do that. When you, after this lesson, you still continue accessing the work, and then you do that work. You do the work. Yes, Asante. Okay, I think it was by mistake. He raised the hand. So this is what we're talking about, plants habitat or a plant habitat. So here we have plant habitat is a place where plants grow or are found. So you can just even end here and say plant habitat is a place where plants grow. So all of you who did not access the work, you must be able to access the work. The site is like this. And then these are the different topics or units. You have social services and their importance. You have soil. You also have natural changes in our surrounding. You have sanitation. This one we finished last time. We finished this one. So after finishing, you're supposed to do the assignment. There is assignment down there. Then after doing that, then you can now take on plans like that, leadership and the other topics, as simple as that. So let's move on. So let's talk about the plants. We have already understood that a habitat is a home, is simply a home of a living thing, whether an animal or whether a plant. It is a home. A habitat is a home. So when someone puts their animal habitat, you simply say is a place where animals are found, or is a place where animals grow from, or is a home of animals. If it is a plant habitat, you also say is a home of plants, or is a place where plants are grown. As simple as that. There are people whose hands are up and they don't speak. Yes, Asante, I see your hand up, but you're not speaking. What's the problem?
I tried to go to that work, but it keeps on putting those welcome things. So I'm asking, how do I remove those welcome things and come to the work?
You don't need to remove the welcome things. The welcome things is just welcoming you to the site.
But the welcome things block the work. They block the work.
Hey. Okay. Bernard is there. He's going to note that, and you will will help you to explore and know very well how to access the work. So this work needs the good network. If you have good network, you can access it very fast. You can access it very well, very fast. So I expect everyone to access it. You try. We are going to. I will leave some minutes so that Bernard can help you to see ways of accessing that work very well. Then I see. Okay. Let's continue. So let's talk about the examples of plants that are found in the school compound. Plants found in the school compound can be your school compound. Can we try to identify this? Everyone is going to give one. I'm going to choose randomly, starting from Asante. Yes, Asante. Asante, without first unmute, then you speak. He's not speaking. We are talking about plants that grow in the compound. Yes, Asante.
A hen.
Come again.
A hen.
We are talking about plants, not animals.
Oh. Apple tree.
Apple tree, good. Shadrach.
Cassava. Maize.
Cassava
plant.
Good. Fatoma. Any plant that grows in the school compound.
Purple.
The purple plant, good. Then Stefan. Any crop that grows in the school compound.
Grapes.
Good. And there's so many other different plants. So when you look at our work, we have them here. We have purple plant, avocado plants, we have mangoes, the palms, the trees, flowers, etc. They are very, very many. Let's also identify those examples of plants that grow in swamps. Examples of plants that grow in swamps. Examples of plants which grow in swamps.
Excuse me, teacher, where should we write?
You have the work in the site. You can access the work at any time. You can access this work at any time. So you may not need to write. Then later you access the work. You now have access to the site at any time. You should not wait that until the teacher calls you. Every time you can access the work and read the work in the site. So let's give the examples of plants that are grown in the swamp. Yes, let's start with the Shadrach. Any one plant or crop that is grown in the swamp?
Yam.
Good. Another person? Asante. Any one crop?
Maize.
Good. Nantongo? If there is any?
Rice.
Good. Then Stefan, is there any? Stefan? We are talking about.
I didn't hear properly.
Come again?
I didn't hear properly.
I was talking about plants that are grown in the swamps. And the rest I've talked about maize, you've talked about rice, yams. So I was also asking you to mention one.
Sugar canes.
Sugar canes and so many others. So they are even here, plants in swamps. You have papyrus, you have yams, you have rice, you have sugar canes, and many others, So all those plants, even millet, you have even maize, all those ones grow there in the swamp. You get them in the wetland. They grow very, very well. So this is what you need to know. All this work is there in the site. It's just a matter of you accessing it. And then where you get challenges, you ask the teacher. We are available to help you. So let's also talk about these plants that grow in dry areas or plants that grow on rocks. Most of these plants that grow on rocks are non-flowering plants. Most of them that grow on rocks are non-flowering plants. If you know the non-flowering plants, then you know the plants that grow on rocks. So let's give the examples of non-flowering plants, because last time we talked about them. Examples of non-flowering plants. By show of hands, if you know any, we say that these are plants which do not bear flowers. Yes, Asante.
Ferns, liverworts, conifers, mosses.
Okay, he has talked about liverworts and then mosses. Those two are correct. Conifers are not correct. Conifers do not grow in on rocks. They don't grow on rocks, but liverworts, you have mosses. They are correct. Let's hear from Shadrach.
Weeds.
Come again.
Weeds.
Come again.
Weeds.
No, I can't. I don't think. No. Stefan? Yes, Stefan? Come again.
Cactus.
Cactus. Very good. We have cactus. Cactus is one of those plants that grow on rocks. The answer is very correct, and so many others. So it's just a matter of knowing some of these examples of the non-flowering plants. As simple as that. So these plants are here, and even we are going to remove some of them, especially conifers, because conifers, these ones even grow even in your compound. You have some of them eucalyptus, you have the pines, you have the Christmas trees, and so many others. So these ones don't grow on the rock, but these others, they grow on the rock very, very well. So these are the examples of plants, and you were able to mention them very, very well. So all of us in our schools, in most of our schools, we have a school garden. And in this school garden, we grow different crops. All the plants that can be grown, you have maize. Like we can ask you to mention the examples of crops that are grown in a school garden. You just say maize, beans, bananas, you have sweet potatoes, yams, and others, including onions. All those ones, you can grow them in a school garden. So we can ask you in your examination.
Why can't you grow onions in a school garden?
I'm saying you can grow onions in a school garden. You can grow them. You can grow them in a school garden. Yes, Asante, you see your hand up. And even
why you said why I thought you said that onions, you can't grow them in a school garden.
No, I said you can grow including onions in the school garden. Then Stefan, I see your hand up. After speaking, you lower your hand if you don't have anything to say. Stefan, do you have something to say? If not, then you can put down your hand like that. Thank you. So let's move on to another thing, and that is the importance of a school garden. I hope everyone is seeing my screen very well. I want to start with Nantongo to read for us the first importance of a school garden. The first one, this one you can see here. Yes, Nantongo.
Children learn about crop growing. I am for studying purpose.
For study purposes. Can you repeat the whole point?
Children learn about crop growing, i.e. for study purposes.
Very good. Let me hear from Shadrach, the next point.
Children use them for food.
Come again.
For food.
Are you reading the point that I'm showing you here? Can you read the point?
Children get food from growing crops.
Children get food from grown crops. Good. Let me have Asante.
The surplus is sold and
The
generates.
surplus. It is surplus plant. The surplus is sold.
And it generates income to the school.
Can you start afresh?
The surplus is sold and generates income to the school.
The surplus is sold and generates income to the
What's
school.
surplus?
The surplus is that extra food. If you, after harvesting, there is that one you can store. If it is much, you can store some and then you sell some. The surplus is that top, the remaining food. After you've stored the one you will be eating, then that remaining one you can sell it off. So that one is the surplus. The surplus is sold and generates income. Income is money. Income is money. As simple as that. So let's have Stefan to read for us the last point.
Children learns how to dig.
Can you read that point once more?
Children learn how to dig.
Good. Children learn how to dig. As simple as that. So when you have a school garden, definitely it helps you to learn how to dig. As simple as that. So in case we ask you to give the importance of having a school garden, you can give these points. Children learn about crop growing. Children get food from the grown crops. Children learn how to dig. The surplus is sold to get income. As simple as that. So let's also discuss about a nursery bed. In primary 3, okay, I don't know if you learned this again, but I think it is the first time for you to learn this. What is a nursery bed? We have the answer here. So it is a matter of you next time to just access the work and be able to do all this by yourself. We don't need to be going through everything because you can read and understand most of the things. Let's hear from Nantongo. What is a nursery bed?
A nursery bed is a simple piece of land where seedlings are raised from taking them to the main garden.
Please, can you start afresh? There are some words that you didn't really pronounce very well. Can you start afresh, please?
A nursery bed is a simple piece of land where seedlings are raised from taking them to the main garden.
Taking them to the main garden, okay? That is according to Nantongo. But if you're very much observant, if you see this word, she said it's simple. Maybe I'm the one who had it badly. Then there is also a problem here, raised. So I want another person to also repeat the same answer. Thank you, Nantongo, for that. Let me hear from Stefan. Can you read for us that definition of a nursery bed? Yes, Stefan. What is a nursery bed? What is a nursery bed?
Nursery bed is a small land where seedlings are raised before taking them to the main garden.
Before taking them, not talking, before taking them to the main garden. A nursery bed is a small piece of land where seedlings are raised before taking them to the main garden. Let me have Asante to repeat that. Asante.
A nursery bed is a small piece of land where seedlings are raised before taking them to the main garden.
Good. Then lastly, Shadra, can you also do that? Oh, so is quiet. Let's continue. So we say that a nursery bed is a small piece of land where seedlings are raised before taking them to the main garden. Before you take your seedlings to the main garden, you must be able to raise them in this structure. So this structure is what we call a nursery bed. Before we talk about the importance of a nursery bed, why a nursery bed is good, let's identify the examples of those crops that can be grown in a nursery bed. Crops that can be grown in a nursery bed. There are very many. Very, very many. Very many. Very, very many. There are very, very many. So let's identify those before. By show of hands, those plants that can be grown in a nursery bed. Those plants. Yes, Stefan?
Tomatoes.
Very good. Nantongo? 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 Anyone?
Cocoa tree.
The cocoa trees. Another person? It's correct. The answer is correct. Yes, Stefan? We have very many examples of these plants that we grow in a nursery bed. There are very, very many. And if you get chance, any free time, please utilize that time to open the work, to access the work here so that you can read. And when we meet, you should be able to present all what you know. So we shall look at those examples of crops that are grown in a nursery bed just in a meantime. Let's talk about the importance of a nursery bed. Let me have Asante first. Yes.
Protects the seedlings from harsh conditions. Example, too much sunshine, strong wind, and heavy rains.
Good. Protects seedlings. So a nursery bed protects seedlings from harsh weather conditions. For example, too much sunshine, strong wind, and heavy rains. Thank you so much, Asante. Let's hear from Nantongo.
It is easy to care for the seedlings.
Very good. It's easy to care for the seedlings. Let's hear from Stefan. Yes, Stefan. Let me have another person here. Shadrach. The two are not speaking. I can roll back to Asante.
Yes.
Come again.
It is easy to care for the seedlings.
It is easy to care for the seedlings. Then lastly, we have Asante. Can you read the last point? These are the importance of a nursery bed. One, we're told that protects seedlings from harsh weather conditions, e.g. Too much sunshine, strong wind, and heavy rains. Then the other is, it is easy to care for the seedlings. Then the shelter prevents water from evaporating. This is the shelter you see, this one here. This is the shelter. So it prevents water which is in the soil from evaporating. And then it is easy to select good seedlings. So these are the reasons why all the good parts of an nursery bed. Why this nursery bed also? There is what we call a seed bed, and we shall discuss that very well. So before we looked at the importance, we had talked about the examples of crops grown in a nursery bed. But most of you were not able to mention most of them. You just said the tomatoes and just two of them, and it was done. But these are the many examples of these crops that are grown in a nursery bed. So we have the loafer plants, the passion fruits, the cabbage, tomatoes, onions, orange, eggplants, green pepper, spinach, and even different trees. Different trees. We can grow them in a nursery bed, as simple as that. So these are the different examples of those crops. So we also need to talk about something different, and that is ways of caring for crops in a nursery bed. There are very many ways of caring for crops. Let's first identify these ways, how we can care for these crops in the garden. How do we care for crops in the garden? This is the last part we are talking about. Then the rest I will give you time to continue, log into the site and continue reading and copying the work and doing the activities that we have seen already. Yes, Stefan? Ways of caring for crops in the nursery bed?
Watering them.
Watering, by watering them. Very good. Another person? How do you care for your crops in the nursery bed? Yes, Shadrach. You unmuted?
Fertilizing.
Come again.
Fertilizing.
You don't fertilize, but you can apply fertilizers. Applying for fertilizers by applying fertilizers. By applying fertilizers. Another person? We also have other ways of caring for those crops, like spraying. You can talk about spraying the crops. Nantongo, you have another?
By weeding.
Very good. By weeding, as simple as that. So we have talked about weeding, spraying, watering, and applying fertilizers. We still have others that you can still talk about. You can talk about thinning, you can talk about pruning, and there's so many other ways, even transplanting. All those are ways of caring for these plants in a nursery bed, as simple as that. So we shall be looking at those different ways one by one, starting with the weeding. You need to know what a weed is. So let me show you this work, and I will need everyone to get serious and access the work seriously. Every time you must be able to access the work and do the work, copy, do the activities. Where you find a challenge, ask to meet the teacher. Not us coming here to waste time, moving slowly, that teaching. This is not what we are supposed to do. Access the work and then do it alone. And then where you don't understand, ask the teacher and we come and explain to you. As simple as that. So there is another activity here. As you can see, what is a nursery bed? It's just you write here, like you're seeing the instructions, start writing. After finishing that answer, you continue, it will bring number 2. Then again, you answer number 2, like that, until you finish that. Then you go to weeding. What is weeding? You continue. What is weeding? You can see that man is weeding maize. There is another way of caring for crops. This is hardening off, transplanting, mulching, fencing. All those are different ways that we talked about. After that, we shall be talking about parts of a flowering plant. One of the parts of a flowering plant is a leaf or leaves. So we shall get to know more about this leaf. Then you also have uses of leaves. You have what we call photosynthesis. That is the process by which plants make their own food. So you can see this plant is able to make its own food. And its food is not these fruits you see. It is not the fruits you see. The food that it makes is for its own growth and development. So I'm just showing you this work. So get time, access the work. So we have uses of leaves. So before you do the uses of leaves to animals, we have this exercise here. You do it. When you delay, you might be left behind. You might be left behind. So you should be able to move forward and learn on your own, spend time with the work. So all this is the work. That is the work. After finishing, this is the assignment. You do this assignment. After finishing all that, come and do the assignment and then you submit. So let me ask Bernard probably to give those who do not know how to access the work to some directions so that we may not have such cases next time. So, but for now, this is where we are ending. Those who want to copy the work is available in the site. You just log into the site and start copying the work. So for now, if you have a question, you can ask so that I can answer. If there is no question, then let me welcome Bernard to take you through. Yes, Asante.
Excuse me, I wanted to first ask, how do you access the work? The welcome thing has stopped now. Where do I go to access the work for literacy one plants?
Okay, Bernard is available here. Bernard, can you take these children through what they are supposed to do?
Hello?
You wait. Asante, can you share your screen?
Okay.
You share your screen so that we may
And
see.
share your screen.
Okay.
I've gone on web URL.
Web?
Excuse me. I've gone on web URL. What should I do?
I don't buy the answer. You share your screen so that I can also see what is happening.
Okay, I'll just share the whiteboard. So what should I do?
No, you share your screen so that I see where you've reached so that I may ask you to follow. That after this step, go to this.
Okay, first wait, I need to first do something.
Okay, our time is even up. We are going to end this engagement, but then someone will call you to direct you on how to access the work in the site. Someone is going to call you and then guide you on what to do. Even everyone who has a challenge, the same challenge, you may do the same. So this one now, when it is like this, it means that the internet is not working, is not okay. So you have to reload again, you refresh, then it can load again. You refresh, then it can load again. When it shows that it cannot work, whether you wait for what period of time, it can't work. So it means when it brings that, it means the network has failed. The network has failed. So I don't know, Stefan, do you have challenges accessing the work? So even though if it is like this, there is still a problem.
No.
You can access the work very well, right? I don't understand what you're saying. Stefan, I don't understand what you're saying by saying, you know. I said, can you access the work? If it is no, then it is okay. You can't access. So Nantongo, can you access the work?
No.
So everyone is not able. So Bernard is going to call you and then he will guide you on what to do. I want to
Okay.
For me, I can access the walk.
Stop. For you, you can, it's okay. Even Stephanie said you can access the work and yet you say not understanding. So Bernard will call you and then he will guide you on what to do. For now, I want to stop here and wish you a good day. Thank you.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.
Thank you, teacher. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Teacher Ben. Bye, Teacher Ben. What have they said?